It's Patrick Ewell, and for this video I wanted to talk about some of my goals moving forward after I reflected on some of the impacts that I faced from coming home while studying abroad. So my first goal is pretty general, but it's just to travel. When I was leaving for studying abroad, I kind of thought that I would be catching some kind of travel bug and would try and do anything to get into another country again. But after having come home early, I feel like that feeling is only heightened. And so I've started looking at some opportunities out there for me to live in another country again. Unfortunately, since I'll be a senior next year, and just given the classes that I need to take, I don't think it would be very realistic of me to study abroad again during my undergraduate career. But fortunately, there are some other opportunities out there. The first being the Fulbright program, which is something that I have been looking into for actually a while now, even before I left for Sevilla. And originally my plan was to try and study abroad in Spain and then maybe study abroad in a different Spanish-speaking part of the world, so Central or South America. And now I would really have to think about where I want to go, because partially I feel like I have unfinished time in Spain, having not been able to really fully explore the country, and that's always where I wanted to travel and study abroad. But another part of me also understands the value of getting just more and more different cultural experiences, and I think that Peru is fascinating. It's so beautiful. I'd love to live there for some point. But the Fulbright program is also difficult to get into. Fortunately, there are some resources on NAU that can help me with that application process. And the other good news being that a lot of other countries have an equivalent to the Fulbright program that is just not the Fulbright program. Another option would be going to graduate school abroad. I am pretty positive that I will be attending graduate school, and so then it's a matter of what I'll be studying and where. But I do think that that's a great opportunity as well. And as far as travel goes, actually another goal of mine is to see more of the United States. I met a lot of international students from a lot of different places in the US, and I haven't done a lot of domestic or international traveling. And so it's really made me want to see more of my country and get a better understanding of that and different subcultures of the United States. And so I think that, I have some of those connections. I'm meeting new people in different places, and so it would be really great to get to see some more of my country as well. The second goal that's been developing recently and is still a little bit under construction is my capstone. So my plan is to still be doing a translation project. Originally it was going to be about the Camino de Santiago, but I won't have done it by this upcoming fall semester, and so that required some adaptation. And so instead I was thinking of designing an interpretation course based off of a class that I was volunteering for at UPO in Sevilla. And I think it would be very valuable because at least at NAU, we don't offer a course like it, an interpretation course. We have translation classes, but those are a little different. And I'll still also have that personal connection to the project. I really loved getting to work with the students and professors. It was a ton of fun, and I plan on writing a blog entry about it to describe that course a little bit more. But Fortunately, changing my capstone is actually a lot easier. The process of doing that has been changed given the pandemic because a lot of people's projects were impacted by that. And so my main goal for my capstone is to still have something that's valuable and will develop my language, but also to have that personal connection because that's really important for me. And speaking of language, that's my big third goal moving forward. I honestly don't have a lot of Spanish courses left. I'm going to be a senior, and I started with some Spanish credits, and I'm knocking out a bunch right now in Sevilla. And I think that more than ever, it will take a lot of personal initiative to really keep developing my language. Before I went abroad, I felt as if my abilities had plateaued a little bit. I wasn't getting worse, but I also wasn't really getting better. And so I think that one of the great things and scary things about studying abroad is that you kind of learn to just get over it and submerge yourself and go for it and speak the language. And so having that confidence moving forward, I think will help me as I look for new ways to get better at Spanish. I think that my capstone project is a great opportunity, and I also think that there are a couple of ways for me to practice with fluent speakers, even in the United States or at NAU. And one thing that I have noticed about people that speak Spanish or pretty much any foreign language is that if you can speak it, they they love they love to talk with you and hear their native tongue. And so I think that whether it's the conversation groups hosted by NAU or going to office hours or just finding different students, I'll be working in international housing next year, so hopefully I could find maybe some international students that speak Spanish. I think that it would be a really great way to continue bettering my Spanish instead of kind of sitting back. Right now, my coursework has kind of devolved into a lot of reading practice and a lot of writing practice. And in Spain, it was a lot more of, hearing those lectures and speaking in conversations. They didn't have a lot of homework there. It was more so your interaction in class. But now, since we can't really host classes anymore, it's changed. It's become more of an assignment-based study, and so I think that it's really up to me to get that practice with oral and listening skills in Spanish. And one final thing that I have been considering for languages was maybe seeking some form of employment, whether it be tutoring or some kind of interpretation. I think that would be another great way for me to just keep moving forward. So those were my big three goals moving forward: getting to travel more, working on my capstone / graduating with honors, and developing my Spanish. I don't think that my time abroad is over, and I just look forward to seeing what opportunities lie ahead for me with these goals. Thank you. Bye-bye.